CIA gangster police knocking down houses in the lower city. It's all about, there's nothing about finding yourself in the bottom of a horse cabinet in Cabano, Mexico. I was there from 1965 to 1972, finding myself in a most difficult situation as the CIA had left me there to die after my failed attempt to get President Oriente to agree to the banana exports. Unfortunately, I was under the impression that banana was a code word for cocaine, which was still legal at the time, but unfortunately has not stayed the same. Regardless, I managed to find myself in that place at that time, in a place that many have called a illegal weapons cache, a, a brothel, so to speak. But regardless, I found myself there. Jack. It's all about. I was always there. Jacob. I've lost myself. It's only me. I'm the only one left. It's called being a renegade, a rogue agent. Now you were there for. I've seen your pictures. It's a good movie. I've seen your pictures, but what's your thoughts on? I've seen your pictures. What's your thoughts on the Hollywood people? Robert Downey Jr., Elisa Theron, the Big Bopper, Buddy Holly. You work with them, don't you? You have a good rapport. But I fail to see your real mastery of the art. But what's your perspective on this? We've seen Chinese people, too many Chinese people. I'm starting to wonder, when's it going to end? They were a nice gimmick for a while, but now they have countries, continents now. Who would let them get away with that? Because the black man strengthened. Brother Kayakimbe, speak up! Show yourself! We will not speak to the white man as he's spoken to us in the slavery days. No, my friend, my brother, my power. We rise up with one collective voice, one collective shout. Anywhere we are, whether we be in the summertime jam fest or the bathrooms of Coney Island, we will strike ourselves up beneath ourselves. Amen, brothers. Amen. It's nothing about time, you see. It's the power of the white man over us. You see, my brothers, we are standing here alone against the frightful horde of these monkeys who do not understand the great civilizations from which we have been born. And my brother, I see you have joined us. Praise Christ. Praise Christ. Morning, brother. How do you be in this powerful area we have found ourselves in? The inconsistent, the inculation, the mortification. We find ourselves connected here. My brother, what do you say to yourself?
I'm like cooking.
You're cooking, my brother. Are you cooking up revolutionary ideas? Are you cooking up a wave of self-situation against the white man? I say hallelujah, you are. Praise Christ. Praise Christ. My brother, speak for yourself. How have you helped the cause recently?
I can't speak right now. There are a white man among me.
Preach, brother, preach. That is how we feel every day. That's why I sit here in my clothed solitude, being hunted by the white man. CIA gangsters dragged me from chains from Kennedy, New York airport, 1965. They found me in my powerful brothers. You see, Malcolm X, he was a nothing. He was a nobody. He was below me. I was the real one. Malcolm Y, they called me. Malcolm Y, you see, XYZ, WXCT. This was the truth which the white man has stolen from us. See, for the power of ancient Egypt. Socrates was a Jew. My brothers, we must pray. Another invention of the white man, you see. Another invention of the white man. Hallelujah, my brother. We are finding ourselves in strange times, strange place. I believe today is the day which we find ourselves beginning anew. Beginning another time. But this is just one man speaking, my brother. What do you say? What do you say, my brother, to the thousands of people listening in? To the thousands of white cops listening in. My brother, we are speaking together here right now. Right now, right here in this place. This place. Collection 01 is what I've come to call it. Collection 01, the epicenter of that revolution from which we have also been warning ourselves about for the past 400 years of under chains and under blood. My brother, we are speaking out today. I thank you, my brother, for your wisdom in this wonderful, wonderful exchange of pure black ideas, my brother. Well, let us pray. Now, my brother, I remember I was in Chicago City, 2002, when there were 4 white boys looking at me with their ravioli haircuts and their pontoons pants. They were stealing from us, brother. Their ravioli looks and their ravioli time. They spoke to me. They spoke to me and they said some white man speak I did not know. They said to me, I do not know what these white men were speaking to me about, but I knew that while I was publicly defecating, they were making their point against my power. This is the truth, white man. Anyway, brother, let me hear your words of strength.
Hold up.
Hold up. What a wonderful word to say.
Hold up. I do declare,
Hold
I
up,
hate the
white
white
man.
man.
We are here. We are here. We are not. We are holding you up with a civilizational gun point at you. We, the black man, are trying to steal from the liquor store of civilization, but the white man has come with their guns and their ammunition, saying, hold up, and we hold up the white man, you see. My brother, I love the way you speak. Malcolm Z, I will call you. Malcolm Z, my brother, Malcolm Z. Not like that poser Malcolm Y. It was Malcolm Y, Malcolm Z. The Z stands for Zigger, my brother. Say it with me. Say it with me, brother. Say it. Oh my God. I'm trying to make it catch on. Can't start it with an N, but start it with a Z. Brother, we are all Ziggers. The low down Ziggers. The white man of JFK. Now, I believe you were there, JFK. Grassy Knoll. What's your thoughts on this? Tell me what you think. Grassy Knoll, Calico, Oswald. What kind of name is Oswald anyway? I mean, we can't expect a man with that kind of name killed somebody. I don't know who he killed, but I've heard his name a lot. You're not speaking to an audience of many. You're speaking to an audience of one. And 40,000 CIA agents listening in. This is the power that we all speak inside of us. This is the power of the PIs, the PIs, the Proto-Indo-Europeans. That is what we are talking about today, brother. Are you a pie or are you a cake?
I'm a pie.
You're a pie. You're a pie. I feel that that's a good metaphor for all of us, don't you think? There's a pie, and it's filled with different flavors. You can cut it up in so many ways, but you eat them all the same unless you insert it rectally. And I think that speaks for a lot of things right now.
Michael says hi.
Good morning, Michael. Why don't you speak? Why don't you listen in on this powerful listen? This great listen box from which the powerful Jews of the entertainment industry have given us to control our thoughts. My brothers. We're listening in here on WQHC, the only pirate radio not run by a child molester. WQHC. Log in online or tune in via satellite radio. Tune frequency 1.574. We are sharing this frequency with a Japanese gambling radio, so I may cut out at certain points, only to come back in after the latest pachinko numbers. And those latest pachinko numbers are 1445, 18.4, 584. That is the pachinko numbers for the Kawashikata Amusement Park. Power your amusement, Kawashikata, just off exit 45, Tokyo, Japan. And I'd like to thank my other sponsors here tonight. From the State of Delusion. We've had a long and fruitful relationship with the State of Delusion. A great country, great people, tremendous people. Really the best. The best. I've been working with the State of Delusion for a long time. Not as good as State of Misery or Paranoia, but Delusion's getting up there. Ride the Deluge, they say. In college, that's what they called me, the Deluge. Not because I looked like Jim Belushi, but because I was a massive Belushi, which actually was named before Jim Belushi. Did you know that?
No.
It was true. Belushi was actually named after the Belushi Home Theater System Incorporated, which was a 1935 home radio set, which got its name Deluge because whenever you turned it on, there would be a great which to some, mainly the retarded and the mentally slow, such as the Japanese, sounded like the wave is crashing, a deluge, you could say, which derives from the Proto-Indo-European word deluge, which I believe was some kind of fruit tart of some kind. I'll have to get back to you on that, but I have my researchers working overtime for this one. Now, my brother, I see we have a new speaker here. We have someone new here. Let's hear your words. Let's hear your words. Praise Christ. Let's hear some praise Christ here. Praise Christ. Praise Christ. I am. My God, we've scared them away. This is how it is, the radio business. 400,000 radios playing each day, driving me insane. I cannot believe it. Praise Christ. Praise Christ. Unfortunately, this is not a high stakes kind of. This is not a high stakes radio broadcast because I am recording this out of the bathroom of an airplane. The stewardesses are getting very angry at this point. I tried to explain to them that this was a powerful need that would last for as long as my constipation would, but unfortunately, these fascists of the air seem to believe me to be a mentally ill man.
Excuse me.
This is not true. Would someone mentally ill speak to no one for 45 minutes? No, I don't think so. But regardless, we're listening here. News out of Atlanta now. The Wichita County Fair continues to pull ahead of its 70th year in operation. Once again, the fan favorite pig contest is coming along. Today's pigs look more fantastic than they ever had before. Today's winner, I believe, was chosen for his incredible likeness to the one, the only Liza Minnelli. And I believe we have Liza Minnelli here with us, talk to us about her latest film, Go Pets 2, The Pets on the Road. Liza? Interesting points there, Liza. I agree with the sound of clattering pots and pans and
Oh
water
yeah,
rushing.
I was just doing some dishes.
I agree. We are all doing dishes, metaphorically. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to talk to you about your connections to the CIA coup in Guatemala. Now,
No, that's
what did you
crazy.
have, what did you have to do with that? I've been
I have
reading the
nothing to do with
tabloids.
that.
You have nothing to do with that.
I don't
We've
even
all
speak
seen the
Spanish.
pictures. We've all seen the pictures, Liza. We
In
know you were
Photoshop,
there. Photoshop. Photoshop.
hogwash.
Hogwash. That's what they said about the pig that looked like you. Hogwash. They washed that hog. And this is a message from the Council on Circumcision to wash your hog every day. I'd like to thank our continued support of the Greater Metropolitan Area Circumcision Council, reminding you to wash your hog, eat your banana, and other things which are not double entendres. And do you ever hear poetry in the air? The sound of beating wings, a song coming to rest on your heart. Do you hear that?
Yes, sir.
That's the sound of love and change all rolled into one fantastic burrito. My God, I'm crying right now. It's so beautiful.
Is it good, brother?
It's good. It's good. However, unfortunately, I have that Michael Jackson disease, and I will be turning white within 30 minutes.
Oh my god.
The last hurrah. However, unfortunately, my last hurrah as proud Malcolm Y. On the bright side, I will be able to enter the local country club. It also helps that I am, in fact, Michael Jackson. I'm looking at you animals staring at me down from below. What do you speak in your hearts? What do you say in your minds? Are you neglected? Are you hungry? Are you cold? I pet your little head. You look at me with such trepidation, calling for a connection, yet pushing it away. Why do you look at me with such eyes? Such beady little eyes, like a doll's eyes. Murderous eyes, bloody eyes. I've seen some things you don't want to know, my friend. I've seen bloody animals pulled from their ribs. I've seen cats fighting with dogs. I've seen dogs having gay sex with cats. I've seen this in my eyes. There's nothing else. Nothing so horrible. You speak with such vigor. You speak with such clarity. Your heart beats with 1,000 years of blood and fire, and this is what it comes to. I know the look you give me. Why do you speak so calciferous? Why do you dabble with your words? Why can't you be soothing like a baby's milk? Unfortunately, this is simply not the case. 45 years in a Saigon prison changed me from the man I was. I never thought I could be a ridiculous man like me. Unfortunately, it seems that I am. And my brother is back. Praise Christ, brother. Praise Christ. I see the clouds splitting above.
Same.
I see animals yelling at me for food. Yet I know that in an instant, they would tear me apart. I look at them and I know every day is a fight. If I don't kill them first, they're gonna kill me. Don't kill them. They love you. Oh, sure, that's what they all say. But when you're 15 feet down in a Saigon prison for 40 years, things start to change. You start to lose yourself. You start to believe things which you never thought you could believe. How did it find me? How did it find this horrible place from which nothing can remain? I see you. I see your eyes. They beckon at me. Oh, they beckon, but below those eyes, I see teeth. I see claws. I see violence. And there's nothing worse than violence fronted with love. I'm not a love bomber. I'm a love suicide bomber, my brother. Strap me with the bomb and let me go. Strap me to a knife and let me slice. Indeed, there is nothing but endless hallucinations in my mind. You think you see the real world, but no. You see a false world. One shrouded by pain and suffering. Where does this false world come from? It comes from the fact that I do not wear glasses. I wear 2 kaleidoscopes up to my face. That is the world I see. That is the world I believe in. If there was something other than what I see, I believe I would have seen it since. However, as I have not seen it, I must conclude that it does not exist. This is what Descartes was talking about. Descartes was a man who knew exactly what he needed to be at any time. His name, translated from Polish, becomes the barrel of wisdom, the barrel of pain. In fact, it was a summer 1992, that I found myself truly understanding Descartes. A Mexican boy went up to me. He said, "Give me your money." I refused. I said, he said, "Give me your money." I said, "Give me a reason why." He said, "I'll cut you." I said, "Cut me all you want. I've been cut up before, and I'll be cut up since." He said, "I'll make you feel pain." I said, "I feel enough pain. I felt too much pain." You think a little knife is gonna make me feel pain? And then he pulled out a gun and I gave him my wallet. Because, my brother, I know when to fold. That's the truth. If there was no justice in the world, I would have killed that boy right there. Unfortunately, I had to wait 40 days before I could kill him. 40 days. That was when his immigration visa lapsed and I was able to kill him, no consequence. Of course, now I'm sure someone would call that politically incorrect. But it is politically incorrect to murder someone premeditated with no extraneous circumstances. I say I am as politically incorrect as you can get. I will drive 2 hours to stab someone 26 times in self-defense. I will be the first man for the premeditated self-defense. That is what my motto is, my code. Premeditated self-defense. That is the pacifist's way, because I am a pacifist. I am a pacifist. But a pacifist will still fight in self-defense, and I will be a premeditated fighter. I will thrust in, you could say. Thrusting. Being on ice. That's a familiar experience. You were on ice, I believe. That's when we last saw you. 1997. Tijuana, Mexico. Both of your kidneys removed. Your body in a tub full of ice. How did you survive that? That is the question we were all wondering at that time. And this is the first time you're speaking of it publicly, am I right?
Yeah, I'm built different.
You're built different. That's true. Now, the Tijuana cartels, the one that did this to you, they're a different breed, aren't they?
Yeah.
How'd you find them?
They found me.
They found you. What did you send them a card, an invitation?
I invited them to my wedding.
Really?
Yeah,
Who? I remember that wedding. You were marrying Liza Minnelli, if I'm not mistaken. I remember. Liza Minnelli and you were up there looking pretty, and behind you was the Sinaloa cartel. I remember that. But then things go blank. I'm blackout drunk, and what happens after that?
I can hardly remember. The cartel
Because
gave us stuff.
Because of the gang rape. I remember before I went blackout drunk. I remember they were pulling your pants down, and I thought, that boy's marriage is getting consummated before it even started. That was the last thing I remember. Brutal sexual violence, which did not end, I believe, with that. No, right?
I think you're forgetting. You're mixing it up.
I'm mixing it. No, I'm pretty sure.
That
I
was a
remember
different
this.
wedding.
No, wait. I did not go blackout drunk for quite a while. I remember for a little bit longer. I remember you looked at me and you said, I am being raped against my conscience here. And this is humiliating.
No.
Your conscience. You were
came in good faith.
In good faith. But it was a beautiful thing because love between a man and a man, no matter the consent, is a beautiful thing. I agree with that. Thank you for your point. My next guest joining us via satellite radio, the great, late Judith Barker. Judith, I am so glad you're here. What did you think of the man who was raped almost to death at his wedding by the Sinaloa cartel of 1997?
I think it's a miracle. He's even here today and still conscious.
Still conscious, although the rape will never leave him.
No.
In some ways.
That poor child.
This is the truth that we speak here. This is what the government is trying to shut down. Can you believe it?
It's
Just
Enola
because of
rape gangs.
just because I know it's a beautiful thing, a beautiful local culture, which I have enjoyed from time to time as a spectator and as a willing participant.
Or you're receiving or giving.
Giving. I am actually a member of that cartel.
Oh shit.
I started it, and I cannot believe I never told him this, but I ordered the rape. Wow, that is just coming back to me now. I totally forgot I did that. I probably should apologize, but I won't.
You should just. Why didn't you
News
take him out?
news out of Buffalo today. Local weather report horribly wrong. The local weatherman had reported a easy shower from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. However, what instead happened was a airplane crashing into downtown. And I think this really brings up an important topic that we haven't discussed, the fallibility of our local weathermen. I think when you're trying to protect the weather,
I
you
think you're
are
playing with God when you do
I
that.
was about to say that. You are encroaching on the domain of the Almighty.
For sure.
You think you can tell me what's going to happen in his chair a day before it happens? No, sir. Only one man may do that, the Pope and some Mormons. However, I did not get their emails, so I cannot verify.
Mm.
Some Mormons.
You
Which
know,
is why
honestly,
we
you should
always
just.
listen to the Pope's weather reports because he is the only one who truly knows what is going on here.
Yeah.
Except on Sundays when he is on vacation. To my good friend, welcoming my good friend, Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey, how are you doing? It has been so long since
It
the beach adventure at your island 2 years ago.
was quite the time.
It was quite the time. I had a
Oh,
wonderful time, both me and OJ Simpson,
for
and
sure. The gloves were off.
the gloves. That was the tagline I remember.
Yeah.
Back in the habit, the gloves are off. Woody Allen taking care of all of our Woodies. Harrelson was also there.
We had that cripple man. What was his name?
Tom Hanks. I know.
No, the other one.
The
The
retarded man.
wheelchair.
The retarded man, Tom Hanks.
No, the computer guy. You know.
Oh, right. The computer guy.
Is he dead? I can't remember. I know I'm
Steve
dead, but
Jobs has been dead for a while,
no, the
much
other
like
one.
you. The other one, I don't think there have been any other computer guys. They're all the same guy, aren't they?
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking, right.
What
Olympic
a man.
gold medalist, weightlifter, tragically torn down due to a case of AIDS. But
Sure.
this is why we are still fighting every day against this terrible disease, which has claimed so many lives at the expense of so little. It is AIDS Remembrance Week here at WQHY, and we're gonna have to pay some tribute to the queer, the pan, the BIPOC, allies, and everyone with AIDS here, such as my current guest. What is it like living with AIDS in the 1980s? Patient negative. I remember it was the flight
an
attendant.
excursion. It was an excursion to Africa, and he got mixed
And
up with some monkeys. And
I know. I remember the flight attendant. They called him Patient Zero, but it was, and I don't believe the mainstream media picked up on this. It was actually you who they named Patient -1, which they've never done before for any disease. But they just felt that you had to be fit in there. And I mean, and how
Yeah.
did this affect your music, Mr. Elton John?
Oh man. I took after my friend. I started beating women in the studio.
Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, it really helps with the creative process.
You gotta beat those creative juices into an egg platter, fry them
Yep.
up, fry them up. Making music is a lot like cooking. Kanye West told me that as he was trying to break into my house once.
Mm.
This is before he got big with oh, what's he known for?
Uh, I forgot. I
I
think
forgot too.
cereal.
Cereal, right, right, right. Cereal, and this was before the crossover with Jay-Z's cereal, right?
Hmm. And then
Papa
they
Crunch, Papa Crunch, I think it was called.
no, I remember they had like an event in like Paris for a special cereal release. I forgot the name though.
Right, right. Ziggers in Paris. I remember it.
Mm.
That's what it was. With the hard R and a hard E as well.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that one. People forget that one.
Was some good cereal.
It was good cereal. Draining milk. That's where Drain Gran came from as well.
Mm-hmm.
Draining
Straining,
milk from the
straining and
cereal.
draining.
Strain and drain. Young Lean. Now that young lean kid, what's he been doing lately? I think
Uh,
you were telling me
I
recently.
partake.
You
Uh,
partake in the younger leans. You
yeah.
partake in the really younger leans, actually.
Oh,
The
well,
really young leans. Dangerously young
we
leans,
don't need
I'd
to
say.
get into that here. Uh,
We don't, Mr. I mean, but,
yeah,
we're among friends here, Jeffrey. We're among friends here. Along with the 40,000 CIA agents listening in constantly,
for sure.
for sure.
So
And this
that
goes
young
out.
lean kid.
You got that young lean kid.
Yeah,
Sound of the summer.
for sure.
Sound of the summer 2013. 13 years in a row. It's amazing.
Hmm.
People always ask me, you're always saying sound of the summer. What about sound of the winter, sound of the fall? Uh, and I say, what? Why do you want a sound of the fall? Do you want to fall down? Do you want to fall down and hit yourself? And sound of the winter, sound of the winter, winter.
That's stupid.
Winter. I barely know her, so that's why we're doing sound of the summers. We tried sound of the spring, but I, Poland Spring copyrighted that word, and technically every time
Hmm.
we say it, we have to give them $10, which
Well,
is
they don't need to know that.
they didn't know we're letting a lot fly loose here today. Really,
Hmm.
I should be locked up and shot.
You aren't even in safe harbor time hours.
Not even, not even, not even, not even worse safe. The only pirate radio not currently operated by federal agents yet. We are
You're
always waiting
selling.
for
Are
that.
you selling out? Will you
Where we
sell
are
out?
always waiting for that selling out point. That is we've tried to make the agency very comfortable here from our first broadcast. I believe it is Agent Jack Noyukin. Jack Noyukin's birthday. He is turning 35 today. Happy birthday, Agent, from here
Mm.
at WQXB
Happy
100.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Agent. Scrolling down the list, I see I am required to mention that planes still illegal to hijack.
Damn.
We really thought that we would have that. We tried to sneak in on the appropriations bill, but it was defeated in committee. We'll get him next time, folks. We'll get him next time. New news coming out of Seattle. Laughter, not as good as chemotherapy. Still We were hoping that the trials in Ghana would change that, but unfortunately, we appear to be at an impasse. Now, I think you were telling me about this, about well, you really cured some diseases with laughter in your time as a doctor in Nicaragua, right?
Yeah, we would snatch up the poor on the street and make them wealthy with life through laughter. And then we moved those experiments to Seattle. As we all know, there's a poor people epidemic up there.
Right. And I think that was great because you were able to make poor people feel wealthy with laughter,
And then
but
we
you
would,
didn't even need to give them money.
yeah, we would lock them up in rooms after that. We gave them the treatment.
That's called putting the ritzy in charity. That's copyrighted. Don't say it.
Ritzy. Will I have to pay a fine for that?
You'll be hearing from my lawyers. I copyrighted that word for exclusive use
Oh shit.
by this podcast. I'm looking at animals right now, and the zoo is very angry at me for some reason.
And why is that?
I've been sneaking in after the closing time to stare at the animals, not in a sexual way.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you, not in a.
Oh, which animals?
This is the sexiest animals, but totally platonically. Just imagine the sexiest animals.
Yeah.
But
hold up.
looking at them,
this feels like entrapment.
it's not. The agency. I know the agency. This is not entrapment, like the previous 4 entrapments on this in the past 10 minutes that we have done together. But I was looking at these animals and I thought, what powerful creature. What powerful creature. Like, the killing power
of the what?
of the brown bear is unbelievable. Have you seen those claws?
Yeah, I love bear claws. They're such good. They're nice.
I know. And that much sugar packed into something that size would kill a normal man. You give that to a Roman citizen in the time of Caesar, and he will literally die. We are stronger men.
For sure. You dying?
It's just AIDS. Calm down.
Okay.
Living with it. Curing it, actually. I didn't get it from gay sex in the 80s, or poppers, as you call them. I got it from sharing a needle with Angelina Jolie. We do heroin.
She's on it again?
She's on it again. Despite all of her friends telling her to stop, she listened to reason and is back on the stuff. Congratulations, Anna Jolie, from all of us here at WQAC 100. Let's give it up for Angelina Jolie getting back on cocaine, heroin, and a little bit of crystal meth. Just a little bit. Just to spice things up. But I think the most important thing we need to talk about is it's definitely family. You've spoken about this in your movies, right?
Por siempre. Familia.
Sí, amigo. Se con para seara dolor simientes gara spira su skada. Solo skiri o di skiri mi trova a fare una bicicletta.
Sì. Bella.
Mi amore.
Allora,
ciao bella. Stella, tu scriviamo, tu scrivi figlio. Bella, tu scriviamo, le soldi l'onda. On battesi sera. Ton catallo stindo e alla seminta.
Su come cazzo.
Cazzo zotia. Sento. para centro de la sumantia on caliente de vastindo und crea interroston stella spatata di fare semiento brinca de vasala de brastivia. Amen.
Sí,
Tendo. Sí, amen.
por
That
supuesto.
was that was what the president of Italy said on that fateful day when Islamic extremists ran him down with a fully loaded 747 into Rome.
I had to agree with that measure.
I know.
I
The
think it
things
was
he said,
totally
man.
justified.
Yeah. That's what we thought at the time, too. Everything that we said, what he just said, as I quoted verbatim, was just, he was asking for it, really.
In truth.
I mean, if he didn't do it, I would have.
Is that going on the record?
It's going on the record. It's going on the record, unlike my HIV status, which I have lied about for 45 years.
How many people? Give us a rough estimation. How many people's lives have you touched with that miraculous?
Lies. The population of Seattle at a minimum. But I think you know something about that, don't you? Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain was a great artist, touched millions of people's lives.
Rest in peace.
But people don't believe in Kurt Cobain as much as they used to, isn't that right?
It's
and he
sad.
stopped. It was a very sad day. Kurt Cobain, the last fairy, and when we stopped believing in him, he stopped existing. Now, all we have left to remember him is the albums and his magical familiar. Yes, and his magical familiar, Courtney Love. Courtney, I know you didn't kill him.
Of course, I love that man.
You love that man, much like we all did. But you have to admit, it was pretty funny, right?
Nothing's a coincidence.
I know. I remember QAnon was talking to me the day before he killed himself, telling me to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, trust the plan.
Trust the plan. Kurt Cobain is dead. Bono, soon to follow. God would. Now, we're going to go on a very short break as I have to skin some animals.
Just relax, lay yourself down, say goodbye to.
That was the 1945 classic, Brother, Can You Spare a Quarter?
No.
No, you cannot. And I believe we have a wonderful a wonderful caller coming in. A man I have known for many years. A man I have listened to, explained to, screamed at. Even a man from the great city of Seattle whom I have known. Mr. Rutherford B. Hayes. Speak to us, Mr. Rutherford. Speak. Let your voice be the trumpet which speaks to thy people, my brother.
I'm gonna have to admit, I did many wrong. That reconstruction, I should have stopped it.
No, my brother. Seems he has been taken by the great curse. The great curse of silence. Now, silence is something that you know about, isn't that true? You have been on a vocal fast since Jimmy Carter was elected. Is that not right, my brother? Now, you have not spoken a single word since Jimmy Carter was elected president. Is that right? I need you to confirm that. Or deny that. Not a single word. Well, speak, brother. Tell me. A new report out of Scientific American: homosexuals most likely to stay silent. What do you make of this? I believe this report is being confirmed right now. Reports being confirmed. Active shooter, Milan County. He appears to be 8'7", dressed only in a loincloth, attacking people in a county Walmart with a spear. Now, what does this say about tensions between Americans and the ancient ones who have recently awakened from their 10,000-year slumber?
We have not yet. We don't know how to make love yet. That's the only problem.
That's true. However, I believe the Sinaloa cartel has made some tremendous strides at that. I think you know something about that, don't you?
No.
No, that's right. But I believe police officers have the situation under control, which is fantastic.
Satisfied the man.
They satisfied the man to completion.
Mm.
Regardless of that, I think we found ourselves at an impasse. We found, I believe we are getting a caller here, a great man, a powerful man who I have known for many years, Mr. Jackson Von Jackson. Welcome to the show, WQHB 100, the only pirate radio not currently being raided by the FBI. Let me hear your story of the time you told me previously about Nicaragua, I believe it was. Tell me about Nicaragua, Mr. Jackson.
Well, I just want to start by saying that I fucking hate niggers.
It's a good input.
I think that should be out there for the public to know.
Now, this is why you were arrested, is it not? Or was that something else?
More or less, yeah. No, pretty much that. I'm also taking a fat fucking shit because I just ate a bunch of Indian food. It was really spicy. So there's that to consider.
And how was this detrimental to your relationship with the great actress Liza Minnelli? I believe you had a short fling with her back in the 80s.
Yeah, and it ended actually very similarly to how my shit is ending. Messy and disgusting.
That's right.
Because I also shit on Liza Minnelli, quite literally.
Also did. And this is something that we don't talk about too often. We don't talk about the real strains of a relationship like this, because you never have to think about this in a regular hoity-toity kind of life. But a relationship is shit on Liza Minnelli, usually.
Typically, yes, that's how it goes.
Yes. And I find your candor very refreshing. Usually when I talk to people like this, they never understand it. Mainly because they are blinded by the blinders we have put on them. Usually a mask.
Some people just don't get it.
They don't get it.
You know? They simply don't get it. They don't know what it's like to shit in Liza Minnelli's mouth. Some people will never know what that feels like.
But you do.
Tragic, yes.
You do. And I believe for a good couple of years you pretended to be Liza Minnelli. Am I not right? There were some rumors in Hollywood of you and trading places, like that good movie, Freaky Friday.
Well, yeah.
Were you not in a Freaky Friday situation with Liza Minnelli from 1995 to 1997?
I was, and I think I made an excellent Liza Minnelli. I don't think too many people caught on. I'm glad that you did. It just shows that you're an astute observer. So I'm glad someone recognizes me for my work, because a lot of people don't.
Yes. I only caught this very recently, actually. I was rewatching one of her pictures, and when she pulled down her pants and started shitting on the stage, I realized, I figured it out. I know who that was.
Yeah, I think the dead giveaway is that my gooch just isn't quite the same as her. There's like a different texture
That's right.
to it.
That's
you know?
right.
It's not
And now we've been talking
not
about
as smooth.
how did you get out of this situation? I believe you used some kind of voodoo ritual. Explain that to us.
Yeah, well, I enlisted the help of some Haitian individuals, actually. I offered them each a pair of Jordans and some stale Black and Milds, and they actually were quite willing to help me out after doing that. So we snuck onto Liza Minnelli's grandmother's chicken farm and did some Haitian blood magic, and that is how I got out of that situation. It was really quite a blur looking back on it.
You got to keep the Oscars, though, which was a wonderful gift from the Academy.
Yes, they're on my shelf as we speak.
They're on your shelf. 2 Oscars, Best Gang Rape and Best Gang Raped. Not many people have both of those. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think my versatility is probably my greatest asset. I don't think a lot of people really can give it as well as they can take it, or vice versa, in many instances.
And you're in a small club there.
I pride myself.
They call it the Big Two, right? And I think it's only you, O.J. Simpson, and Jim Carrey who have all 2 of those. Is that not correct?
If I'm not mistaken, the lead singer of Limp Bizkit may be in that club as well, but we just don't talk about it.
All right, how could I have forgotten? Wonderful performance, beautiful at work.
Yes.
In fact, I believe VH1 is showing a retrospective of that work. The shortest broadcast ever for a station, 22 seconds, shut down by the FCC immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think the American public was ready for
No.
it, you know? I don't think they were quite mentally prepared.
Neither was the Europeans, or the Asians, or the Africans, or the Caribbeans, for that matter. Nobody was truly ready for it. But you're never ready when it happens. That's what they say, isn't that right?
Yeah, no, I mean, who is really ready to watch the lead singer of Limp Bizkit get sodomized?
Well,
you know, that takes its toll on you.
That's right. But the members of the Academy loved it, and they rewarded him for it.
Yes, precisely.
Jeffrey Epstein, we had on recently. He was the connoisseur of that, really, but in a very classy way.
Well, he would often do private shows of that sort, where he would pay myself and others to go and basically just rape each other. And, you know, again, kind of a blur. The 90s were a blur for me. But with that said, what I do remember is that Epstein really, 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 really had a thing for doing lines of coke off of Jim Carrey's asshole. He said that it had a certain pungence about it that was really just unparalleled. And so he prided himself in the fact that he could pay Jim Carrey to let him snort cocaine off his ass.
I remember that. That was the years when cocaine was still legal, as was recreational meth, which
Yes.
I don't think people talk about enough. Recreational meth, it worked very well. Too well, in fact. Which is why the white man has banned it, trying to keep us down.
Well, you see, I think it's a little more nuanced than that, really. I don't think it's right to blame all white people. I think it's really right to blame the Irish. I blame the Irish for this whole thing. I think that we don't really pay enough attention to the Hibernian conspiracy that is unfolding around us. And I think that's probably our biggest flaw as a society, is how short-sighted we are, how myopic we are, and how we can't see that it really is the Fenian who is responsible for a lot of our societal ills.
I would be happy to agree with you on any other day. However, WHQHB 100 is currently, technically, legally a slush fund for the IRA, and I cannot slander our only sponsors today.
Understandable.
Now, I believe we have a caller coming in. I've known him for several weeks, from downtown Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. was known as the pusher for pushing drugs on the local communities and pushing doors into children's faces. Do you have anything to say for yourself, the Louisiana Ripper? No, I guess not. You'll just listen there, guilty, like a maniac, like a killer, cold black eyes like a doll's eyes. You think I don't know your scheme? I brought you here to show you off to the rest of this world. They know it was you. Give yourself up. Captain Crunch cereal, another proud sponsor of this wonderful pirate radio broadcast. You don't expect pirate radio to have too many sponsors, but here we are, 40 years later, still surviving off of a single band of FM radio. And they don't talk about this too much, don't they? FM radio. You see, the difference is that FM is a struggle. You're fighting other radio bands for dominance. It's like a fight club. That's what it stands for. Fight M radio. The M, more fighting. And that's really what I think is the problem with most forms of toilet paper. It's not a real cush-to-cushion experience. And, of course, once again, for those just joining us, the only radio station working out of the bathroom of a 737 jet. So you might have a little bit of noise in the background. But these are things that you have to just accept as the limits of the medium. But I believe there's this kind of peacefulness to the bathroom airline. The airline of a 737 floating through the air like a beautiful machine. It's calming, almost. The flight attendants knocking at the door, screaming at you, trying to get you out, but you won't leave. No, you won't. The founding fathers killed to let you stay in that airplane bathroom as long as you want to speak your truth. But unfortunately, these dogs have kicked us down and spit on our faces. Lord, kill me now. Lord, kill me now. I'm sorry to report, both engines have failed. We are currently plummeting towards the Earth at 35,000 miles an hour. Death is imminent. But I think it's a good point to remember the little things in life. A small kiss upon the forehead. Flying. Falling. Beauty comes in many forms. Something I have found over these years I have walked this plain Earth. And most of those forms come through illegal uses of methamphetamines, something which we continue to support on WQXB 100. And something which I think has legitimate medical uses. I don't think we've really scratched the surface of what injecting cocaine into the penis can cure. I mean, we know laughter is the best medicine. Surely euphoria is a little better. But some people disagree. And we have to respect those opinions. Their opinions are wrong, strange, completely devoid of reason, logic, undeserving of respect, even. But still, we have to listen to them. That's often what I think, curled up in my booth at the Lake City County Jury Department. Recording this now, I see the defendant. He's scared. He's a young boy, barely 12. What's he in for? I don't know. What's the case? I don't know. What's his name? How old is he? What's he look like? I don't know. In fact, I have not looked at this kid once. I have been staring at the wall of this courthouse for the past 36 hours, and for some reason, the cameras seem to be addicted to me. Is it so strange that a juror is ignoring the case? Let me tell you this. There are some other things that you could be ignoring that are more important than some triple homicide gang rape, but apparently I'm the talk of the town. They tried to shut down this radio broadcast. They said, a juror should not be able to host a radio during the trial. But you know what that is, my friends? That's a free speech violation, and we don't handle free speech like that. No, we start pissing on the floor. We start pissing on the floor and marking our domain. In fact, I have not moved from this juror seat for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. My principled stand, my silent protest. I have not spoken a word. The bailiff is looking at me very angrily. I have not spoken a word. I have stayed silent. I am condemning this world around me for this ridiculousness. And the judge is looking at me too. Oh, he has some ideas. But he'll never know I'm paying off his wife. Yes, I control the jury. I control the judge in this town. I make the rules here in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you've ever
I say
seen...
now, juror number 4. What was that?
Hey!
You've been paying off my wife?
I've been paying off your wife. I've been paying off your daughter.
I say now, boy, you don't want to talk like that.
I'll talk however I want on WQHB 100, the only pirate radio not run by Islamic fundamentalists, and I have worked my entire life to stay pure and strong.
God damn it, how'd the lawyers let you through?
How the lawyers let me through? My confident swagger and my 13-inch penis. The world's smallest pianist. In fact, he will play us Moonlight Sonata. Play it again, Sam. Okay, he's a very small pianist. He has a very small piano, so it's hard to hear it over the courtroom sounds. And you know what? Fine.
Security.
I'll look at the trial.
Security, have the pianist ejected from the courtroom immediately.
Hey, I'm playing along. I'll look at the trial. This kid, why are we even here, guys? Come on. He's guilty, I guess. Sure. Why not? Death penalty? Okay. I claim squatters' rights. I've been here 13 weeks. 2 more, and I legally own this courthouse. These lawyers thinking they know the law. My God. But that's just how it is here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Home of the fattest black women you've ever seen. Fattest black women. Oh, just sucking up some of that smell. That beautiful Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm sorry, Judge. I have to use the restroom. No, I will not go to the restroom. I will do it here, as is my constitutional right.
I say now, boy, you better not be shitting up my courtroom over here.
I am not shitting up your court. I despise that kind of cockfly language that you speak of, you motherfucker. I hate profanity. I am simply disposing of waste. And since when has that been a crime?
Juror number 4, you better not be defiling my court bench.
No, I am marking my property, as is our common law right. Look in the Bible, it'll say that. I bet. I have
Point me
only.
to the chapter where the Bible says that.
Oh, you know what? I will pick up a Bible and point it to you right now. I will not get up, as I have 14 Bibles around me. I have been using them to beat off women who have been trying to get that custody that they so desperately want. And this Bible is in Hebrew. I am Judge. Can you read Hebrew, Judge?
You know goddamn well I cannot.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah. Then it's page 45 of the Hebrew Bible. See? And that's called common law. And I'd like to shout out to a sponsor here. Jufus Brighton, Louisiana Night Court. Now, I have been taking a degree by post from them for the past 13 years, and they have taught me the finest examples of American law I have ever experienced. If you want to know how to squat an account, if you want to squat a courthouse, I say, if you want to squat a hen house, Jufus P. Riley Court Mail degree by post. I tried to pass the bar. I did not succeed at that. But when I held up a bar made of lead and started beating that proctor in the face, they gave me a passing grade pretty right quick, I'll tell you. Oh, now, I think we should get a little serious here, because really there's a lot of scary news out there. I'm hearing. Let's see what's on the blotter today. Aha. Buddy Holly, famous 1950s singer, found alive after 50 years since his plane crash with the Big Bopper and Eddie Valen. Sources are saying Buddy Holly survived the 50 years after his fatal plane crash due to eating the fat stores found within the Big Bopper, who is now the Little Bopper, as Buddy Holly has consumed most of his flesh. Now, on one hand, I would like to praise Christ for keeping the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly alive far past their natural conclusion. But on the other hand, I have got to wonder, how is this going to affect the album, self-titled album, Weezer by Weezer? Buddy Holly, a classic song on a classic album, which currently it is illegal to play in this state. I've been trying to figure this out. There's nothing wrong with the song. Sure, Mr. Rivers Cuomo, cousin of Cuomo Phoenix, of Rivers Phoenix, sorry, saw brother of Rivers Phoenix, Rivers Cuomo, and I agree. That breakdown in the middle of the song where Rivers Cuomo digresses and explains in great detail, filling up the 4 hours, 3 CDs, and the entire double side of the vinyl on the protocols of the Elders of Zion and their plot to keep down the Aryan man from his rightful place on the throne of the Kahashitul and the ancient Mesopotamian king who lives inside all of them. I agree. It was a bit overdone. A bit of a digression, but I think the song works. It just works. But now somehow you can't listen to that in the state of Louisiana. Isn't that funny? But we got these mayors. That's right, these Louisiana mayors jacking off into our water supply. And I saw that. I saw that with my own eyes because I was joining him. And I think it's fine as a member of the public to do it. But you're an elected official. Are you trying to lower yourself to the base degenerations of the common voter? Like me? Like me every night? Masturbating into the Shreveport water supply? I mean, we elected you, didn't we? No, we didn't. That's right. Our current mayor came to power in a violent military coup. 40,000 dead. That's right. I cannot believe I forgot that. But if you think that you're trying to become a common man, speak to the people, a revolutionary, if you think that you're a Napoleon, you're wrong. Napoleon jacked off into the Paris water supply. But that was not the same as what you're doing, Mr. Mayor. You are not Napoleon. Neither are you Montesquieu or Mittenreich. Hell, you ain't even William Pitt the Younger. You a lot of things, Mr. Mayor. But a man who jacks off into the water supply with me and my 14 cousins, that ain't you. That ain't why we supported you in your violent military coup against the rightfully elected mayor, simply because she was retarded. Now, it's not a race thing. I agree. It's not a race thing. But when you start electing retards to the highest state office, you are, my friend, you are walking down the country mile and you're passing all the Waffle Houses I can see, far as the eye can see, and each one of them is closed. WQXB would like to thank Waffle House for their generous contributions to this radio station. We are currently 14 miles off the coast of San Juan, Puerto Rico. And if you're ever in San Juan, why don't you try heading down Highway 42, get off the left embankment at the big fork in the road, I mean the physical fork, the giant model put up there in 72 to try and leash off the success of the Muppet movie. The giant fork in the road, not the actual fork in the road, because if you take the actual fork in the road, you are going, oh, you don't want to know where you're going to go, but it's a place you don't want to go. It's a place I've been to many times. It's called jail. And you get raped in jail. And I have never been raped in jail. I've seen it. I've enjoyed it. Participated? Yeah. What was I talking about? Fork in the road. San Juan, thanks to our great sponsor, Crazy Miguel's human trafficking outlet. Cheapest prices in the round. We got white kids going for the price of Hispanics, and you can pick up some Hispanics for the price of a can of Coke here, because the dollar is very strong down there, and they will give you fellatio for less than $1. I have tested this extensively in my mind. I would never break the sacred bonds of marriage. From the 4 African wives I have, proud women, all of them, they cannot cook for shit, but they are all proud, independent women whom I have married illegally. It's really quite funny. $1 can get you a long way down south. Isn't that right? You know, I went to the county clerk in San Juan with 40 American dollars, and that was enough to marry all of my wives legally. I don't know how the little man did it. Maybe because his little hands could write all the names in the space for the one wife you're supposed to have, as God has prescribed. But somehow, that little man has managed to write sacrilege just for $40. For $40. And you know, I at this point, I regret marrying them. You know? I thought that, you know, if it was 3/5 of a person, that at this point, I would have at least the equivalent of one white bitch, right? I thought, you know, I collect enough of them. I thought I could trade up, you know? It's like my, you know, I was watching a documentary about it recently. I think it was on, where was it on? It was on last night, 10 p.m. Toonami. I was Toonami, Dragon Ball Z, Goku, and Frieza. Now they do something called fusion. And I thought that once I got enough black women, I could fuse them into one white bitch. But that shit don't work. And now now my whole perspective has changed. Did Dragon Ball Z lie to me? Have I been misled? It don't make sense. Because, see, that's the truth we find. Television is not our friend. Television speaks lies to us. The TV, a man pretending to be a woman. That's a lie. Vision, as I have brought up hours ago on this speech, on this pirate radio broadcast, vision itself is a lie. I do not see. I have 2 kaleidoscopes taped to my eyes. I haven't seen nothing for 45 years. And that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with tranny kaleidoscopes. And that's what we really see when we look out over my 4 beautiful black wives, who I will repeat, cannot fuse like Goku predicted. And I believe we have a caller coming in to WQXB 100, the only pirate radio station not currently run by federal agents. And this is my good brother, Jackson Patutius, coming down from Colorado City, Colorado in Mexico. Welcome to the call, Jackson.
Back in the Middle Ages, when the evil scientist Yaku
Pick it up, brother.
Back then, we could fly, we could hover all altitudes. We were the most lugubrious race. And then Yakub and his evilness created the white man to steal our magic for themselves.
I was speaking of this hours ago. I was speaking of this to the thousands of federal agents listening constantly at me. The white man has found ourselves a new killer.
A new scourge. We've been protecting this ancient diamond of lugubriousness deep in the mines of melanin below the crust of the earth. And the white man is developing mining machines, drills of sorts, to dig below the crust and try to hamper our defenses.
You know it, brother. And I remember my times down in those mines, don't you? That was some good shit, you know. We would be crawling around and just shitting wherever we could be, because the melanin looks a lot like shit. So the supervisors never could catch on that we were just shitting where we were standing.
We were sucking worms out of the mud for nutrients and water.
And we liked it.
And we loved it. And we heard news of the evil scientist, Yakub. Fuck shot from a parent.
I will not, Yakub, he has made some mistakes, but, he is a good friend of my family. He is a good friend. I mean, sure, did he touch some kids? Maybe. I don't know.
Brother, this is the...
Did he introduce aid?
All weekend, even. His
I think,
the vats of his evil along the mountain.
This cancel culture has gone out of control. Someone creates the white man once, and suddenly it follows them for the rest of their life.
Yes, sir, Mr. Pants Up. Yes, sir.
caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
We call him, my name, they call me Crawfish Jackson, from the Bayou.
Crawfish Jackson, welcome to WPXQ 100.
I was actually hoping we was gonna have a moment of silence for my uncle. He invented the straw, so you can suck crayfish out of they can suck crayfish out of the hose faster.
Uncle Terry on down Giblet Snap. He dead.
He invented the straw. He fell off the boat.
Latartius is dead?
He fell off the boat on the way to Vietnam and landed in
Cambodia. Latartius, no. No.
Back in my car. I went to call.
I'm gonna have to mandate a moment of silence for beautiful Latartius. Let us pray.
Mm-hmm. I pray to you, Black Mary Magdalene, have peace on this man's soul.
Now I've been talking about Mary. Mary has been a long-time listener, first-time caller.
She is the negress Mary Magdalene. You cannot just refer to the original.
No, the original was actually Chinese, and people don't know this, so we tend to ignore her.
The white man revised the Bible. Her original name was Mary Melanin. It's all true.
Is that true?
Oh God.
I have a copy of the original King James Bible sitting on my desk right here.
You do, my brother.
King Jamiroquai Bible. I have
Let me hear your favorite verse. Let's hear it. Leviticus 14:32. Let us hear.
Leviticus 14:32. I believe that's it's called the corner. Even though it's called the cornerstone, it's not always on the corner. And I believe if you really think about that, let it simmer in your head for a bit, you start to understand. I think this can apply to people as well as all types of other beasts, even as much as cats and dogs and
Amen, bro. Amen.
My brother, I am murmuring in agreement, but I am also incredibly constipated, so that's going to be mixed in a little bit.
I understand that very much. This last batch of crayfish I had, I'm going to be honest, it had a whole lot of swamp mud in it.
in memory of Latashus,
Yes, sir.
friend of us all, friend of the show, friend. You know, I remember when Latashus gave me my first 100 quarters to start this show, and he looked at me, and he said, you know, there needs to be a free voice for the black man. Malcolm X, he's fine, but you, my brother, I remember you from way back. You were here before Malcolm X. I mean, you know, you're Malcolm Y before him.
Yes, sir.
And I've kept that with me this whole time. And you know, and I remember his strong words. He said, you know, there needs to be a free voice for the black child molesters everywhere. And you know, I took his money. I'm not gonna act like I'm better than that. And no, of course that was a mistake. You know, we dropped a pro molestation stand 3 years ago, and you know, but 3 years ago. But you know, next week is our 40th anniversary, and I think that's a tremendous achievement.
You awful white sounding for a Negro there, brother.
You know, I have told you know, this is my real secret that I have only told a few friends. I actually have the Michael Jackson disease, so I am running out the clock here as a black man. I will be turning white any moment now.
This is very
Any moment.
unfortunate to hear.
Mhm.
Understand that everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody does,
Lord
just like
Jesus himself.
Michael Jackson did when he molested that kid and didn't kill him.
Yes, sir.
That's what you got to do, and that is something that I learned from good friend of the show, Jeffrey Epstein. Mr. Epstein, welcome back. How has it been, my friend?
I guess
Come
he got
on.
cut off. I guess he got cut off, or there was some.
He got. I know. Jeez, he has been doing that all
He was
week. I mean, he is.
in explicit detail how he would never kill himself under any circumstances. So, what do you guys think about these damn milk crates? Oh God,
It's a damn crying shame.
you seen this shit, man? Fuck.
The white man used to lynch us up on those crates, and these down low brothers have recreated it themselves.
Devout followers, acolytes, if you will, of the lugubriously evil scientists,
And these white men
around
the,
the hood.
the sons of guns, they stack them in the same shape as our beloved Egyptian pyramids that we built as a way to trick us into climbing them.
The damn Freemasons.
Which we built. Brother, I remember that. I was there. Racial memory. I was there. I remember it.
This is all true, except the white man once again
1975, the pyramids were built. 1 year later, they were looted of their gold. Sad day.
Even more so, revision by the white man. How many of y'all have actually been to Egypt and seen these in person?
I have
not. I have
not.
I reckon
they are much smaller in person.
No,
3 feet high.
Actually,
very good photography.
See the pyramids now is they're actually upside down now. We actually built them one brick from the bottom, many to the top. You may ask, how is that physically possible?
Incredible
Through
balance.
Black girl magic.
That is true. Much like the black girl balances the body fat distribution around her rear posterior, we balance those bricks to make an correct side up pyramid.
Man, brother, amen. Shit.
And now I think we have a new caller here. I don't think I've mentioned him before, but he is coming to us live from the great state of Minneapolis, Mr. Rufus B. McLaren. How about you give us a little hello there, Mr. Rufus? Mr. Rufus.
Former running back of the Minnesota Rocking Chairs, if I believe so.
Mr. Rufus, you ain't
taking a damn power nap.
Damn. Well, in other news, rape now legal in Arizona.
Yeah, I don't go that where I be going. Is you?
Now that was, that was a real fight at the end there. We had to sneak it in from via some ballot initiatives that, we stood up and we said, you're going to pass this or every hospital is going to lose power. And so they passed it. And now
I will be
now,
having a cigarette and I will be back. Oh God.
praise Christ. Now, Arizona is a mighty fine state. There's a lot of cowboys there.
Yes, sir.
And a cowboy is now I don't quite understand the difference. What makes a cowboy different from a regular boy? Explain to me this.
This once again, I believe, is some buffoonery by the white man community as an attempt to trick us.
Mm.
So now we are stuck on the air, meandering about with these nonsense topics when we could be talking about something more important.
That's true. That's true. Now I don't know. Now topics of importance. I mean, we've talked a lot about topics of importance. We talked about Liza Minnelli. We've talked about the AIDS epidemic. We've talked about, we talked about courtrooms and the legal system. I mean, what have you been working on recently?
I've recently had a theory that light-skinned males actually evolved from a much different race.
Puerto Ricans, they call them.
My studies have shown that they may have evolved from sea turtles.
And I guess that's why they go so hard in their rapping, from the hard shells that they evolved from. That's interesting.
Perhaps.
I mean, have you ever stared off at the sea and wondered what's down there?
I have not.
You have not. Have you ever seen the ocean?
No, I have not.
That's a crying shame, because it's a wide ocean and there's a lot of room to defecate in. And that's something that you don't really talk about. We don't talk about how the ocean is really just God's bathroom,
This is all true. And may I also add, I have never actually seen a sea turtle before. I don't know what they look like.
But you have eaten one before. That's what I remember that, actually. You and we were walking down Chicago berating light-skinned women, and we went to the Chicago Zoo, and there was a beautiful-looking sea turtle. You looked at it. Of course, you didn't look at it. You stared at it, sight unseen. Your eyes went white, and you leaped in, devouring the thing in an instant. And I remember that the Parks Department was not too happy with that, which I think is a horrible case of discrimination against our people.
Yes, I believe so. Now that you are saying this, it's all coming back to me.
I know. There are many blurs in our lives.
You see, you know me, I'm 68 years old, and you saying that just now reminded me that it is quite bizarre that the oldest known date that I could remember was about 6 months ago. Which, now that I think about it, may be around that same time frame that this incident that you are talking about perhaps happened. It didn't actually really occur to me until now. But now that you are saying this, it's forgive me, but it's a lot to take.
I know. I understand. You see, that's the power of pirate radio. We cure dementia, which is something that the American Medical Association has not responded to my threatening letters on. Because, I mean, you heard it here, folks. I have just cured this old man's dementia live on air in front of 40,000 people.
Praise be.
Praise be.
Praise be.
I am being told by the station manager, who is also me, that I have misread that. It is not 40,000 people. It is 4 people, which is just as good. Really? It's just as
Think
good
old.
in this media
Think
environment.
old African law, as you know, was absolutely bastardized by the whites. In good old Africa, zero meant zero. It meant nothing. And 4,000 is just 4 with a couple of zeros after it, which, from what I understand, zero means zero. It means nothing. So 4,000, 4 with 4 zeros after it? Listen, that's just 4.
You have brought so much wisdom to this show over the years, and I
Maybe
cannot
you
thank you
disagree.
enough. And it is a crying shame that that girl called the police and you are going to prison tomorrow. I really fought for you in court, but unfortunately, intimidation is not an accepted form of legal defense, which is really just what?
Understand that I have Dr. Umar on my case, working on it, helping me out. I believe we will be okay.
I appreciate, I respect, and I amplify your prayers, and I am in awe of your resilience against the white man's tricks.
This is
Dirty
all true.
tricks. Dirty tricks
And
like a Taiwanese
yes, may
prostitute.
I also add that in cases of miscegenation, it is the woman who is punished.
So true, brother. And and the judge didn't dismiss the case just then when you brought it up.
No, he did not, as he was
Paid off by the white man.
Yes, he was a white
Oh
man.
my God.
Which, yes, I was actually on my way to jail when Dr. Umar actually freed me from the prison coach that I was on. By the way, this was in the year 1823, and I've been on the run ever since.
They will not stop in their
I believe
ruthless
it is now
pursuit.
the year 2021, way to Africa. I was the first black man to invent swimming. I've finally made landfall, and I can say that I will now be persecuted in Africa, where African law, as you know, still applies. So I am hoping for a very swift dismission of this case.
And that's the problem that we have with this country. Mexico, that we are currently in, the only country which will accept WQHB 100, the only pro-murder podcast ever to be recorded. And I think we really stand behind that. We stand behind that. We stand by our convictions. Because if you don't got your convictions, what do you have? All you got is a bunch of convicts. And that's what the community is right now, and something we got to break free out of. We need more conviction and less conviction for crimes which we have done premeditated.
Now, I'm going to ask you to not say that word again. It sounds an awful lot like the word eviction, which brings back a lot of bad memories.
You see, but that's because you didn't learn. You don't have a law degree like I do. You don't have a law degree of the streets. You got evicted, sure. But that's why you have to learn to squat. And that's where I got my law degree, Zachary P. Zachary, Louisiana, degree by mail. And he taught me all the tricks and town halls I need to know. And that's why I have been living in this government courthouse for 50 years. You just got to be there for 24 hours. And legally, they can't do shit.
Well, if we're going to be going down to specifics, the house I was squatting in, the owner was evicted. And they filled the house with mustard gas in order to flush everybody out. And by the way, owner was evicted on account of him missing his payments, on account of him being dead, on account of me killing him.
an open and shut
Now that I
case
think about it,
for
all
you.
those things may be related.
I don't know. I don't think so. Why are you bringing unrelated topics? Shit.
I'm sorry if you heard that in the background. That's the police train. It's the police train that's after me.
Still going. Just from 1783, non-stop police train. Chasing after.
Thinking about it now, I never noticed all these tracks behind me.
You have been steadily going along. I mean, what's your secret behind immortality? Because you have been running for your entire life.
I believe I just forgot. I forgot about dying. It's an old trick my grandpappy taught me. You know, he lived to be 38 million years old.
What finally killed him?
Fuck.
I know it's difficult to think about. I remember that day,
Yes,
but
it was the train. That's why I jumped when I heard that horn.
the train beaten to death on a train, a mail cart for pissing in people's mail.
Yes, those things that you hang on to, the little hoops with your hands, I believe. His head got caught in it, choked himself to death when the train had to make an emergency stop on account of there being an oil wagon on the tracks. Lest I remind you, this was in the year 1745, where in Africa, where they have actually discovered whale oil.
And people don't know that. Whale oil powered this nation's industry for 3,000 years. And by this nation, I mean Africa.
Yes, using the great, beautiful African whales.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to laugh at your proud and correct fact. I was simply thinking of the folly of the white man for thinking he could have.
The land-dwelling whales of Africa.
Proud creatures whom we have all partaken in eating from time to time.
Which the good book tells that wonderful, beautiful black Nubian women descended from. The great land whales of Africa.
And that reminds the whales are
They burrow underneath the sand.
It reminds me of a little saying that I used to hear hunting the whales on the proud forests of the Sahara. This was when things went down. And I remember my pappy telling me, you got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, and don't mess with Mr. In-Between. You see, you got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative.
Yes, sir.
Latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In-Between. Do you hear me? Oh, listen to me, children, and you will hear that truth time and time again. Bing Crosby, proud black man. The picture, the white man's film stock back then did not pick up his true color. Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, all proud Africans.
Yes, inventors of the apostrophe.
Inventors of music, actually. Pronounced music with a Z, not like music, which the Klan-like American uses. M-U-S-I-K-K-K. We do not speak music, we speak music.
Music
Music.
with an apostrophe after the
Which
U.
is actually the name of my son. Apostrophe after
Yes.
the U. He is doing great at Martin Luther King High, graduating after 12 long years. We just thank Jesus Christ for those sorts of little miracles we find ourselves in.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you. From what I understand, the fastest graduation in MLK University history. Is that true?
No, wait a minute. No, I think, no, yes. Fully? Yeah. But I believe they gave an honorary degree to LaMarcus Cousins, who was killed in a shootout after 2 days on campus. So second fastest, my son, apostrophe D.
Yes, I remember all this. From what I remember, the shootout in the lunchroom. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Another thing which the white man has stolen from us. Race
Lunchrooms.
traitors, Dylan and Eric Klebold. Dylan and Eric were proud melanated kings, lashing out against the evil white high school they resided in. And the white man simply stole another expression of black power and twisted it for his own ends, time and time
Yes,
again.
sir. Many don't believe this, but then I tell them, you look at the footage, you will see that they avoided the lunchroom and the gym, places where black students are known to be. Specifically avoiding the lunchroom. That was a sign, in my opinion.
Not a single black man was killed by those great warriors of Yakub.
Yes, sir. The 68,000 people who died in the Columbine killings.
All of them. And of course, that number could be as high as 68 trillion, because as we know, zero means nothing.
Yes, so 68 deaths, 68,000, 68 trillion. None of this matters. See, in the old country, we didn't have time for counting. I simply look, I see, I know what I see, and I don't need to count. If I see sticks on the ground, there ain't no need to count them. What for?
We don't need accounting. I have never accounted for anything. Not my crimes, not my taxes,
my actions.
And that is why I am currently going to prison by some trumped up charges for claiming that the condoms I used when I did that bitch as a business expense. Apparently that's illegal. Since when?
Yes. I remember when my cousin he's from the city of Coast, so his brain has been somewhat tainted by the evil paleness of the city. He claimed that there was something wrong with what he called my bank accounts, and hearing that word just drove me in a fit of rage. I strangled him right then and there. Another one of the many false charges the white man put on me.
See, white man law does not have a category for premeditated self-defense, which is a proud African tradition. I have driven 2 hours to stab my bitch 27 times in premeditated self-defense, and somehow I'm the guilty party? Me?
I have done the same thing. I tell them it came to me in a dream. But as you know, the white man does not believe that the black man can dream. Which is why MLK gave that famous speech.
That is so true,
as a way to prove this theory false.
I think we can all stand to listen to Mr. King's dream speech again. I will say it for the goodness of this crowd. Now, it's a cold, sunny September morning, and we're all gathered here, 10 million men, 10 million proud brothers standing together. And I have a dream. I was in my old college dorm room doing my homework naked. And then I was at my ex-girlfriend's house, and she saw me naked, and she was wearing a fish pajamas. Now then these fish pajamas sank into the sea, telling me I was crazy. And then I was back in the zoo. I was looking at a lion. He ate me. And then I was flying through the air like a big bird. Civil rights now. Whoa.
And then, unfortunately, we all know what happened afterwards. A train drove through the crowd.
Oh, that's right. That's
Killing
right. I see that now. You know, civil rights, yeah. And then the train whistle.
Million people.
Civil rights.
The police train,
The police. It was a police train.
once again.
A proud brother speaking here from the city of France, Mr. Reginald P. Willikers. Now, I've been with Mr. Reginald P. for many years, and he is a proud supporter of the cause. Now, some of you may think that you are a supporter of the cause. Sure, maybe you've gone down with the brothers. No, this man has been in some sisters nonstop. I may have my four beautiful black wives who have yet to fuse into a single bitch, a single white bitch, but my man has 14 wives, and all of them as black and beautiful as the Nubian sunset from which you stole them from, I believe, because they don't speak English at all. And
The black son of Africa.
black son of Africa. And I may not agree with your tactics, but they're successful. 14 of them, 14 stars taken, all of them looking like Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, you have a taste. I may not agree with it, but you have a taste, and you found all of Whoopi's 14 identical twins. And that's, you've collected them all. You are the Pokemon master. I believe that is what it is called in Japan. When you get them all, it is called doing a Pokemon. And
Oh, yes, sir. And, people have been wondering for years what came first, the Whoopi Goldberg or the Whoopi cushion, which after my years of study, I found it was actually the cushion that came first, which I'm going to be honest, very bad day for Black history.
One of the, those are, everyone sweeps shit under the rug. That's one of them we sort of leave off the Christmas calendar. Another holiday which the white
The
man
Kwanzaa
started.
calendar.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is Kwanzaa. Is it not?
Yes, what they don't tell you is Kwanzaa is all year round. It never ends.
It is the 320th day of Kwanzaa here at WQXB 100, the only pirate radio broadcast not funded by the Libyan government.
Actually, I'm getting word now that
the check.
after many hundreds of years of successful all year round Kwanzaa runs, they had to take one day off, and that is because of the Whoopi cushion discovery. We were punished. We were that day was taken away from us. It happened to be on a Sunday too.
Is there nothing that the white man will not take from us?
No, sir, I don't believe that. Which, in my opinion, is irrefutable evidence the white man has discovered time travel technology and went back and invented the Whoopi cushion before the birth of the great Mrs. Goldberg.
And
the first black Jewish.
Hold on. Now, I'm getting some news from our own time travel watchers that a white man is currently traveling back in time to the year 1645 and is attempting to impregnate my great grandmammy and try and turn her into a Jew. I think this is ridiculous. These white men have been going back in time and defiling our grandmothers to turn us into Jewish people. How are we letting the white man get away with this? It's unconscionable. It's disgusting.
Hold on. I believe we've turned the mics off so they can't hear us. But you let the voice slip a bit. I'm gonna have to ask you to watch it.
Oh shit!
They can't.
No.
See
Oh
her.
shit!
Okay.
And now,
back,
yeah,
folks.
we're
We had
back.
a little bit
We're
of
back
technical
100%
difficulty.
black. And that's true. The reverse Michael Jackson disease is something that we're all dealing with today.
My bad. The connection lost. The one electrical pole we have in the bayou, I believe a spoonbill flew into it,
Oh
exploded,
shit! Lunch is ready.
set the bayou ablaze.
The whole sea on fire. Another tragedy of the white man.
Yes, killed all the sturgeon in the lake. We are now going to starve. This has been the last episode of Pan African Black Power, House of Power, as we are going to be momentarily starving to death.
That is true. And so, while we still have you, WQXD, 150 years on air, never down. I think it's not once. And I have gone insane.
Yes. Not only that, never been turned off.